Construction finance demands a continuous synchronization of cash flow timing, line item invoice reconciliation, and long-term funding allocations. Within Trimble Unity Construct, capturing all that project data is actually the easy part. The real friction lies in extracting it with strategic intent. If you don't curate how this information is served, you hit a wall. A raw data dump of every invoice works for a ground-level team member tracking daily tasks, but hand that same spreadsheet to an executive and it completely paralyzes decision-making. We need to build a targeted, role-based financial tracking system by utilizing both the reports and dashboards modules. This entire system relies on a specific trade-off. Achieving effortless visual clarity on the back end requires a rigorous, structured setup on the front end. We have to engineer this visibility for three distinct operational tiers: the executive optimizer, looking at the big picture, the project manager, operating the budgets, and the ground-level executor, managing the day-to-day. A successful financial ecosystem doesn't force everyone to look through a single pane of glass. It filters the exact same raw data differently, adjusting the resolution based entirely on who is sitting in front of the screen. A dashboard on its own is an empty vessel. It cannot generate numbers. It relies entirely on a structured underlying report to function. The system's baseline input is the summary report. This tool is designed to sort and subtotal linear data, like standard document logs or contacts. But if you try to use a summary report to handle complex, multivariable financial projections, it breaks down. It lacks the dimensional depth to cross-reference multiple data points over time. That is where the matrix report comes in. It upgrades your analytical capability by summarizing data into a grid, grouping those metrics across both rows and columns simultaneously. This Step 6 wizard interface shows the column grouping dropdowns, requiring a steeper learning curve. But you have no choice for high-level forecasting. The matrix report type is strictly mandated to unlock advanced tracking features like cash flow. Mastering this multidimensional matrix report engine is the mandatory first step. Without it, no high-level executive visualization can exist. Once you master the matrix format, you can access specific tools, like the actual cost funding report, which connects overarching funding source allocations straight down to individual invoice line items. This creates highly accurate compliance tracking. However, it generates way too much granular noise for a quick executive health check. To predict spend, cash flow reports display project rows against monthly column totals. This insight projects expected cash outflows across a 12-month horizon. But these projections instantly fail if underlying budgets aren't strictly maintained by project managers. While these massive matrix reports generate heavy analytical intelligence, their dense tabular format is extremely hard to read quickly. That friction is exactly what dashboards are designed to solve. The core function of the dashboard module is translation. It takes those dense rows of raw matrix data and renders them into instant visual metrics, like pie or line charts. This dashboard interface clearly outlines the title, header, and footer around a line chart. But there is a trade-off. It solely displays the leftmost summarized column's results. Deeper context is masked, requiring users to manually click through to investigate anomalies. The running user field determines what data populates the charts, dictating whose permissions control visibility. Selecting an administrator grants global visibility but creates a security risk, potentially exposing confidential financials if dashboard permissions aren't strictly restricted. Dashboards are excellent simplification tools, but their accuracy and security are entirely inherited from your underlying matrix construction and permission frameworks. Generating the highest return on investment from Trimble Unity Construct requires an intentional, role-based deployment of these tools. For the team member profile, assign localized summary reports. This equips them to handle daily invoice reconciliation and manage document logs efficiently. Administrators should intentionally keep these ground-level executors out of the global dashboards to protect their focus and maintain necessary data compartmentalization. The project manager profile requires a different setup. They should utilize the dense cash flow details and actual cost funding matrix reports. Project managers must drill deeply into this raw data to spot slipping timelines early and manage potential bottlenecks by exception. Finally, the executive profile. As this dashboard view illustrates, executives should abandon spreadsheets for customized dashboards fed by PM-maintained cash flow reports. Activate automated report subscriptions to send these metrics directly to the executive's inbox, removing the need to log in. Aligning the correct reporting tool with the precise operational role is the only reliable way to prevent information overload across your organization. To recap, the clarity of a visual dashboard depends entirely on the structural integrity of the multidimensional reports powering it. By investing the upfront effort required to master the report wizard's perping functions, you guarantee a financial visibility system that ultimately runs on autopilot.